listening to Codovision, where you hear the TV power through audio. I am Mark Codo, aka Codoman, your Codovision host, and I just want to say thank you for clicking on today's episode. Whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or evening, you are listening to Codovision. For this episode, we're on episode 5 of Codovision, and I'm just excited for this one because this one I'm going back to Star Wars, although this time this will be in the animated category for Star Wars, and this will be from Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now, the episode that I'm going to talk about from Star Wars The Clone Wars will be from Season 1, and that will be the 5th episode from Season 1 titled Rookies. Now, the episode came out on October 24th of 2008, and as I mentioned, it serves as the 5th episode for Season 1 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now, this episode first aired on Cartoon Network on October 24th of 2008, and it was later shown on TNT, premiering on February 25th of 2009. I didn't know Star Wars The Clone Wars also aired on TNT, but that was a while back. Star Wars: The Clone Wars appeared on Cartoon Network, and that was like in the late 2000s. Now, I was still in elementary school. I was still in elementary school at the time Star Wars: The Clone Wars came out. Although during that time period, I wasn't very interested in Star Wars during that time. It wasn't until like end of 5th grade where I got introduced to Star Wars through Lego Star Wars, and then of course the first 6 movies, and then it wasn't until like middle school I started to watch a couple more episodes of the Clone Wars, mainly the last 2 episodes of season 4. Speaking of which, I have already gotten through season 4 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, so obviously check that off my list of seasons that I've already gotten through. So I've already gotten through the first 4 seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and as for seasons 5, I have seen a few episodes from season 5. I have not seen season 6 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I've only watched the first 4 episodes and the last 4 from season 7 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And that's basically it on the Star Wars: The Clone Wars part. Now, going to the Rookies episode, just to give you an official description, the episode takes place alone on a distant outpost where Clone Commander Cody and Clone Captain Rex must inspire the rookie clones to believe in themselves to fight off against the Commando droid invasion. And that's basically the official description. Now, just to give you a bit of the plot summary, most notably the opening quote from the narrator: "Clone forces rally. As the war escalates in the Outer Rim, the Jedi Knights are spread thinly across the galaxy. Many new clones are rushed into service to support their Jedi generals. Unfortunately, because of the relentless demands of battle, many young clones must join the struggle before the intensive training has been completed. These clones, manning a vital network of tracking stations, are all that stand between the Republic and invasion." Now, that is the opening quote for the plot summary of this episode, which is Rookies, by the way. That's the name of the episode, Rookies. So basically, this is referring to new clone troopers, particularly the new young clones. But anyway, let's do the breakdown of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars episode, Rookies. So the episode already opens up with the narration. Now, narration is done by Tom Kane, who is a voice actor who has done a lot of film and television products, including Star Wars: The Clone Wars. He voices one of the admirals for the Republic, and he also voices Master Yoda as well. Now, as I already mentioned, this quote, to which that's the opening quote that Tom Kane said in the opening episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Rookies: "Clone forces rally. As the war escalates in the Outer Rim, the Jedi Knights are spread thinly across the galaxy. Many new clones are rushed into service to support their Jedi generals. Unfortunately, because of the relentless demands of battle, many young clones must join the struggle before their intensive training has been completed. These clones, manning a vital network of tracking stations, are all that stand between the Republic and invasion." So that's the opening quote that the narrator said, or should I say, Tom Kane. The episode opens up on the planet on the remote Rishi Moon planet. A small unit of rookie clones stationed there, including Heavy, Echo, Fives, Droidbait, and Cut Up, are restless and deprived of battle. Echo reads some regulation manuals, while Heavy daydreams of being on the front lines, while the clone sergeant reminds them that their listening post is vital in keeping an eye on separatist activities and making sure that they do not try to slip past and launch a surprise attack on Kamino. And then, of course, this is part of the Center of Clone Production and Training. Although, of course, many of the clone members are like, oh boy, this is boring. Why can't we go on the battlefront? Well, to be honest, though, these clones were hired to guard the Rishi post. But of course, that's their job. That's the job. That's their job for these clones. Now, in case you're all probably wondering who's voicing all these clones, well, they're being voiced by none other than D. Bradley Baker. That's right, D. Bradley Baker voices all of the clones. And D. Bradley Baker has an extensive resume in terms of his filmography from TV and film, but most notably for TV. He voiced Daffy Duck in the Space Jam movie. He provided the animal noise for Perry the Platypus in Phineas and Ferb. Then obviously he voiced all the clones in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and of course he also has he also voices a few he does additional voiceover work for the other fish characters from SpongeBob SquarePants, just to name a few projects. Like, this guy's got an extensive filmography for his voiceover roles. Now, going back to the episode, the clone sergeant orders his men to prepare for an inspection by Captain Rex and Commander Cody, who are en route. Soon after, the station detects an incoming meteor shower and prompts it to raise its shields, but the meteors aren't all meteors. Two of them are boarding ships carrying several commando droids. And of course, this episode introduces the viewers to the commando droids. They're a little different than some of the B1 and B2 battle droids. These commando droids, their movement is slick and fast. Plus, they have tough armor as well. Now, of course, some of the commando droids are also bounty hunters as well. Actually, a couple of them served as bounty hunters for the season finale of season 1 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which introduced bounty hunter Cad Bane. But anyway, with the brutal efficiency, the droids infiltrate the base and waste no time in executing the sergeant, along with 3 rookie clone troopers, forcing the remaining 4 clones to flee the base through the exhaust vent. The commando droids report their success to Droid General Grievous, and with General Grievous, he is pleased with the mission from the commando droids, and then of course Grievous contacts Asajj Ventress on Kamino, where she is making secret preparations for a separatist invasion. Now, Heavy, Echo, Fives, and Cut Up emerge from a maintenance tunnel into a deep crater below the outpost and plan their next move. Suddenly, a massive Rishi eel silently emerges from one of the many caves in the crater, snatches Cut Up in its jaws. I'll talk about cutting from the group. So this eel snatches Cut Up in his jaws and disappears back into the hole, taking the other rookies by surprise. And one of the clones was surprised. He was like this clone. He sees this giant eel eating up Cut Up and sinks back down into the hole. And one of the clones is like, "What the hell was that?" And one of the clones is like, "Whoa, that's an eel." And I'm just like, "Whoa, yeah, that is one big eel." Just then, Captain Rex and Commander Cody, they're flying in a shuttle for a landing point high above the base, and Heavy, Fives, and Echo are unable to make contact by radio, so they decide to use a droid flare, or flare warning. Now, up on the platform, Captain Rex and Commander Cody are met by clone who gestures awkwardly and talks like a droid. Now the clone tries to convince them that the base is in perfect condition, though Rex demands to see the sergeant in command. When the clone responds with "Roger, Roger," both officers become immediately suspicious before Rex spots the flare. I like the reaction from both Cody and Rex. Like, they see this one clone officer on deck, and he's walking very awkwardly, and both Rex and Cody were just basically like, "What's going on? I do not like this." And I like this next quote. I think it was either Rex or Cody who said this. I think it was Cody who said this. Cody was like, "I got a bad feeling about this." Famous quote from all Star Wars media. And then this clone is just basically like, "Hi, welcome to Rishi. As you can see here, everything is perfectly fine. You can go." But Rex is like, Rex and Cody were like, "Oh, no, 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 no. We are here for the inspection." But the clone is like, "No, no need to do that." And and then of course Rex and Cody are like, "Oh, no, 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 we're in charge. We want to check the place out." And then the clone's like, "Roger, Roger." That's where Rex and Cody were like, "Yeah, something's up." It wasn't until that flare came up. It was a droid flare signal, and Rex shoots the clone in the head, realizing that it was a commando droid. Even Cody was like, "Rex, what the heck? What the heck did you do?" And then Rex is like, "Relax. It's one of those new battle droids. It's a commando droid." And then an ambush happens with a boatload of commando droids. Both Rex and Cody are in a firefight. They manage to destroy one of them before the captain and another droid toss thermal detonators which destroy their ship. And like I said, these commando droids, they actually pick up a pretty good fight. They're fast and slick in movement. Even their armor is tough too. Like, Cody shoots one of the commando droids in the chest like twice, and Cody's like, these bastards got tough armor." He shoots them again, which actually destroys that one commando droid. But like I said, those commando droids got tough armor. Now, of course, Rex and Cody went off the platform just to avoid the explosion, and then of course they slide down. They use their grappling hooks to go down into this crater to find the other clone cadets. Now, of course, they are unsure if those new clones are droids or not. So Rex pulls out his and what does Rex do? He pulls out his gun, tells the clones to remove their helmets, and they do so, reassuring Rex until the eel returns for a second attack, but Rex kills it before it can strike. And then of course, one of the clones is like, "Nice shot." And I like this introduction with these clones. Like, Captain Rex and Commander Cody are introducing themselves to these rookies. These are rookies, Heavy, Echo, and Fives. And Rex is like, "I am Captain Rex. You may call me Captain or Sir." And then all three clones reply with "Sir, yes, sir." And then of course Commander Cody introduces himself as his boss, and of course the two officers then explain to the rookies that they need to take the base with the Shawnees, and Rex and Cody are determined to retake the base, and Heavy, Fives, and Echo are up for the task. Now, the term Shawnees in this episode is basically a term that veteran clone troopers use to refer to their less experienced clone rookie colleagues. It transferred to the shininess of the clone trooper's armor that was not dirtied through combat and or shininess of their experience. And I like that explanation that Captain Rex said to these rookies, because if you really think about it, Heavy, Echo, and Fives, those guys are new clone troopers. They're basically new to the job. If you know what I'm saying, they're inexperienced, but they are new to this job. And the armor that they're wearing is not dirty. It's brand new, shiny and new, and that's what Captain Rex refers to these rookies as shinies. even Captain Rex is like, looks like we got some brand new shinies here. Yep, and that's what Rex says. So anyway, even Heavy, Echo, and Fives introduce themselves to Rex and Cody, and of course all three of them said that we're all that's left. Their sergeant and all the other clones were killed by the commando droids, while one other clone, Cut Up, was eaten by this EO, and now they're all that's left. So anyway, moving forward, all the as they lack the weaponry to break through the blast doors, Rex comes up with an idea of posing as a droid commando in dis- posing as a commando droid in disguise. He approaches the gate where three commando droids are standing guard. And then of course, oh man, I like this part. It's like this routine like they're trying to bait the person inside to let the person outside to get inside, if you know what I'm saying. Unit oh 07 answers and notices that Unit 26's vocabulary is off, demanding to see his faceplate. Rex dives down and picks up Unit 26's droid head, and Cody comments on how absurd the plan is. But of course, obviously Cody was like, "Oh, this is never going to work." Oh, you think it won't work? Well, think again, Cody. But Unit oh 07 opens the gate and he sees the clones. And there are also other commando droids too. They're surprised by Rex's appearance. And the commando droids were like, clones. And Rex is like, Roger, Roger. And Rex and the other clone troopers shoot down all the commando droids. And of course, storm the command center and retake it from the commando droids. I like how two of the other clone troopers both shot down the last commando droid, and one of them was like, "Haha, I got it!" And then the other was like, "No, you didn't. I shot that one down." And then the other clone trooper replied, "Like hell, you did." Like, wow. Well, technically both of those clones took down the one commando droid at the same time. So technically both for the win, I guess. So unfortunately, the Confederacy Navy, led by General Grievous, has arrived, and when he can't make contact with the commando droids, Grievous sends down reinforcements. Not wanting the base to fall back into enemy hands, the clones resolve to blow it up with liquid Tibana, which would disrupt the all clear signal, thereby alerting the Republic, which includes all the other clone troopers and of course the Jedi as well. As the other clones escape through the tunnels, Heavy tries to arm the explosives, but the remote doesn't work, so he decides to activate it manually. In a heroic last stand, Heavy is wounded, and the droids are unsure of what to do with him, asking each other if they take prisoners. And Heavy defiantly says that he doesn't, and sets off the explosives. Now, this is both awesome and sad. This is both awesome and sad at the same time. Now, what makes it awesome is that the clones were able to put up explosives to blow up the station, taking out all the other battle droids. And even before that, Heavy and the other clones gunned down most of the remaining battle droids that are trying to come into the command center. And once all the bombs are at the station, all the other clones left, but Heavy decides to stay behind to fix with the detonator button. But unfortunately, there was a bad connection, so Heavy makes the ultimate sacrifice, stays in the command center, and blows up the entire thing. Even what's crazy before that is that Heavy was hiding at one point when the droids walked in, and one of the droids was like, "The base is ours once more." And one of the droids is like, "Ha, those clones are cowards. Let's alert General Grievous that we got the base back." But of course, Heavy comes out with a heavy machine gun, and he mows down most of the droids. But unfortunately, the machine gun ran out of bullets, and he chucks it at one of the battle droids, which is actually pretty cool that Heavy did that. But unfortunately, like I said, Heavy gets wounded. But the last thing that happens was Heavy makes the ultimate sacrifice by blowing up the station. And if you listen real closely, you hear the heartbeat pounding from Heavy. Like this is Heavy being shot down by these droids, and you hear the heartbeat pounding. Don't believe me? Look up scenes on YouTube for this episode. Like there are several scenes of rookies and the Rishi station and the Rishi station blowing up is one of them. And where and in the scene where Heavy literally crawls to detonate the bombs, you hear that heartbeat from Heavy, knowing that he's gonna die after that explosion. And this the last couple of quotes from the droids and Heavy, like the droids like, "Do we take prisoners?" And Heavy said, "I don't." Presses the button and blows up the station. And all the other clones were surprised too. Even Captain Rex was worried for Heavy. Like Heavy really like he didn't like he didn't like Heavy's tone about the sacrifice about what he was gonna do. But of course, Heavy was like, "I know what I gotta do." It's awesome but sad too, because we this is the only episode where we see Heavy, right? I mean, imagine if Heavy didn't die in this episode. We would have seen more of Heavy. It's real sad too, because when you really think about it, like this is like the only time you see Heavy, and he makes the ultimate sacrifice. But of course, he went out swinging. He wasn't a wimp. He wasn't a coward. Heavy knew what he needed to do. He had to alert the Republic by blowing up the station. Like, dude, like this guy went out swinging, man. He really went out swinging like a true soldier that he is. And of course, once he blew up the station, it alerted the Republic and the Jedi. Even some of the other clone troopers down the crater were like, "Heavy always hated that place." And then the next part I actually got a chuckle out of is when General Grievous sees the base destroyed. He was like, "I didn't tell them to blow up the station." And this one battle droid says, "Well, isn't it good that the base is destroyed?" And Grievous is like, "You idiot!" And then the entire Republic fleet came by to stop to stop the Separatists, to stop the droid army. And Grievous is like, "The Republic fleet, we're outgunned. Get us out of here!" And Grievous, who acts like a coward, leaves the attack and goes on the run. And that's basically it. So and then of course Republic gunships from the Republic came down to rescue Cody, Rex, and the two remaining clone troopers, Echo and Fives. They meet up with the Republic fleet, and of course Echo and Fives are granted medals, and Rex inducts them in the 501st Legion. Although the rookies feel they don't deserve the honor, but Rex says they earned it. And that's basically the end of the episode. That is the Star Wars: The Clone Wars episode 5 Rookies episode. And I'll be honest with you, this is obviously one of the best episodes from the series as a whole, but in my opinion, I say is the best episode of season 1. And according to IMDb, one reviewer actually said that the rookies episode is actually the best episode of season 1. And this is obviously it's basically the reviewer's opinion, but I'll be honest, I'm actually agreeing with it too. But with this episode, rookies, we're being introduced to these new clone troopers. They are young. They are new to the force, and they are new to the force. Like they are basically inexperienced, but they want to get the sense of feeling. They want to get they want to fight they want to fight to protect the Republic. And of course, the remaining clone troopers, Heavy, Echo, and Fives, along with Rex and Cody, were able to do that. They took back the command base from these droids and alerted the Republic that the droid army was evading this planet, the Rishi Moon. And they fought for the Republic on that at that point. But of course, being introduced to these clones is amazing. We even get good banter from these clones. Like like watching this episode, they got good banter and good chemistry with each other. Even Rex tells the remaining clone troopers that we are fighting for our brothers back on Camino. And of course, we are also fighting for the Republic as well. Let's do this, gentlemen. Like, what Rex was talking about. Like, he's not only fighting off the droids just to defend this, just to defend his brothers, but also defending his home turf, which is the planet Camino, and also fighting for the Republic as well. So you know pretty well what he's basically talking about. And of course, being these new clone troopers, well, they're no longer shinies anymore. Yep, they're basically part of the 501st. And on top of that, the action sequences are pretty good too. And seeing the clone army taking out the commando droids and the other battle droids are pretty cool too. I really like that. And what's also funny too that the droids are being voiced by sound designer Matthew Wood, who is a sound designer for Lucasfilm. And on top of that, Matthew Wood voiced General Grievous in not only in Star Wars Clone Wars, but also Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith as well. And I say that's pretty cool. And other than that, IMDb rated this episode a 7.9 out of 10, which I say that's awesome. But other than that, now we all probably wondering, what did I think about this episode? Oh, I love this episode. I say Rookies is one of my favorite episodes from Star Wars: The Clone Wars as a whole. Favorite of mine from season 1. This one's a season 1 favorite of mine. I loved this episode. But other than that, like, I gotta give credit to both D. Bradley Baker and Matthew Wood. Those two guys deserve a lot of credit. They both did a fantastic job voicing the clones. They both did a fantastic job. D. Bradley Baker voicing the clones, and Matthew Wood voicing the droids and General Grievous as well. And I give these two credit for what they did. Those two guys did a fantastic job. And on top of that, Dave Filoni did a pretty good job with this episode too. Although he didn't direct this episode, but he was heavily involved with this episode and the entire series as a whole. Like this episode is amazing. I really enjoyed this episode from season 1. Now, if I were to rate this episode, I give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the episode for what it is. The voice acting is great. The story is great. The clone troopers and their banter is great. And the story itself, chef's kiss. Really enjoyed the story for this episode. But anyway, that is a wrap on this episode. What you guys think of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 5, Rookies? What you guys think of that episode? Have you seen the episode? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Is the Rookies episode a Star Wars: The Clone Wars favorite? I would love to hear your thoughts. And if I'm missing out on anything from this episode, please comment below and let me know. But anyway, that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you all for tuning in to Codovision. I am Mark Codo, aka Codoman, your Codovision host. Stay positive and keep on streaming.